something important has changed, and it could make all the difference between receiving your cost of living payment on time or not receiving it at all. Right now, thousands of people across the UK are completely unaware that the Department for Work and Pensions has introduced stricter verification checks, and many unsuspecting claimants are about to be affected. Imagine counting on that payment to help cover your bills, your food, or your rent, only to discover it's been delayed or denied over a tiny inconsistency in your details. This isn't meant to scare you, but to inform you that if you take action today, you can entirely avoid this situation. I'm going to explain what exactly has changed, what you need to do right now, and how to ensure your payment goes through without any delays. Even people who've always received these payments without a problem are now being flagged for extra checks. So let me ask you something important. Have you updated the one key detail that the DWP is now reviewing first? If the answer is no, you could already be on the review list and not know it until it's too late. By sticking with this message for the next few minutes, you'll be equipped with the knowledge you need to protect your payment and avoid being caught off guard by these new verification protocols. The fact that you're still listening shows that you care about making sure your support isn't interrupted and that you're not willing to let a small error cost you the money you're entitled to. And you should care, because even something as minor as a name that doesn't match their records, a bank account that hasn't been used in a while, or an address that's slightly outdated can now trigger a review. But here's the good news, you're already ahead of so many others just by being here and getting the facts now, before the situation escalates. Let's talk about what's really going on behind the scenes. The DWP has not made a huge public announcement about these updates, and that's a big part of the problem. These aren't just simple system tweaks, they are significant changes designed to reduce fraud and human error. While that goal makes sense in theory, in practice it means that many honest people are being affected unfairly. Some who've received support for years without a single issue are now being flagged because their details haven't been refreshed in the system. The worst part? Most don't find out until payment day comes and nothing arrives in their bank account. Can you imagine the shock and disappointment of opening your online banking, expecting to see that extra help, and finding nothing there? Take Margaret, for example, a 72-year-old pensioner from Manchester who lives on her state pension and depends on that cost of living boost to help with heating. She's always had her paperwork in order. Never missed a payment. But this time, she didn't get the money. The reason? Her bank had merged with another, and her account details were updated automatically, except the DWP wasn't informed. She assumed the changes would carry over, but they didn't. Her payment was flagged for review, and she had to go through a drawn-out and frustrating process to get what was rightfully hers. Don't be like Margaret. The DWP isn't going to call you to verify your details. It's up to you to check and make sure everything is 100% correct. Maybe you're thinking, but nothing has changed for me. That could be true, but have you verified everything recently? Even a small typo in your postcode, a name that's off by one letter, or a bank account that's technically still open but hasn't been used in a while can now raise a red flag in the system. I know some people might be thinking, I've always gotten my payment, why should I worry? And that's precisely why so many people are going to be affected this time. Because these new checks are catching people off guard. The DWP system is now running cross-checks with HMRC, council tax records, and other databases to ensure everything matches perfectly. If something doesn't align, your case gets pushed into manual review, and believe me, you don't want that. Manual reviews take time, and while you're waiting, others are getting their payments on schedule. But there's good news, you can avoid all of this. And by the end of this, you'll know exactly what to do to make sure you're not one of the people stuck in limbo. So why is this all happening now? It's simple, the government is under pressure to reduce benefit fraud and overpayments. Reports from last year showed millions were being paid out to people who weren't eligible. Instead of only targeting fraudulent claims, the system has tightened up for everyone. Honest claimants are now caught in the net because of automation. The DWP's new automated system is fast, but it's not perfect. It doesn't have the nuance to distinguish between a small, harmless error and a fraudulent claim. That's why people are being flagged and reviewed without warning. This is why you need to pay close attention right now. Log into your DWP account or Universal Credit Journal, or call their helpline if you're not online. Check every piece of information: your name, address, bank account number, sort code, phone number, and national insurance number. These are the exact pieces of data the system checks first. If there's any discrepancy, even something small, it can trigger a delay. I've seen it happen. Just last week, I heard from a couple in Birmingham who nearly missed their payment because their house number was listed wrong after moving years ago. They had updated their council records, but not their DWP account. Thankfully, someone reminded them to double-check, and they caught it just in time. That's why this is serious. This isn't just about checking a few boxes, this is about making sure your livelihood isn't impacted. And if you're not sure where to start, don't worry. Even if you're not tech-savvy, I'll guide you through it step by step. But before we dive into the how, there's something else you need to understand: timing. The DWP processes these checks in batches. If you update your details today and everything looks good, you'll be processed quickly. If you delay and get flagged, your file goes to the back of the line. People who wait are now reporting delays of weeks or even months. So I ask you, can you really afford to wait? For many, these payments are crucial. They help cover energy bills, rent, food, and everyday essentials. For some, it's the only financial breathing room they get. So why leave it to chance when you can take control right now? And here's another reason not to wait: the DWP is planning even more changes later this year. They're currently testing new systems that will perform regular, frequent checks on your records. That means more opportunities for small mistakes to cause big delays. But if you get your details in order now, future reviews will be quick and easy. Once your file is up to date, you won't have to worry again. Everything will run smoothly. You may think all of this sounds like a hassle, but it's nothing compared to the stress of missing a vital payment. And here's a little-known fact: people who update their records now are actually being prioritized by the system. I've heard from multiple reliable sources that the DWP is processing payments faster for those who've recently updated their information, because the system flags them as verified. This isn't publicly announced, but it's happening. Gee, that means by taking a few minutes today to check your details, you could actually get your money faster than those who've done nothing for years. That's not just about avoiding problems, it's about getting your money sooner. So what do you need to do? Treat this like something you'd do for a loved one. Sit down today, access your DWP account, or call their support team if needed. Don't just glance over your information, actually read each field. Check your bank details. Make sure your sort code and account number are correct. Review your address and confirm your national insurance number. If anything seems outdated, fix it immediately. It only takes a few minutes, and it could save you weeks of frustration. And if you're unsure, you can request confirmation from the DWP. That might sound like a small thing, but it can give you peace of mind. And if you've moved recently, changed banks, or even changed your mobile number, don't assume those updates were automatic. They usually aren't. So before we finish, let me give you one last reason to act today. There's a small but crucial shift happening quietly. The DWP is prioritizing people who've taken the time to update their records. That means acting now doesn't just prevent delays, it may actually put you ahead in line. You could receive your cost of living payment faster than others simply by spending 5 to 10 minutes today checking your details. That's time well spent, and it's why this message matters. You now hold the information you need to protect your payment, reduce stress, and avoid becoming another statistic. So the only question left is, are you going to wait and hope everything works out, or are you going to take charge and make sure your payment is secure? Because those who act today will be the ones sleeping easy on payment day, knowing everything is handled and their money is on its way.